It's time for Mac Geek Gab, and listener Ben brings us our quick tip of the week. He says, when typing on iPhone, I found that I can type a hyphen immediately before and after any text string, and the predictive text keyboard will then suggest the strike-through style with that text. The result is only a little visually odd because the original hyphens are still present. However, it otherwise is a lot easier than manually trying to stylize the text. And then Ventmore, in the same chat says, it also seems to work with asterisks for bold and underscores for underline. Also, if you add a tilde to the end of a word, it'll suggest the ripple effect. More tips like this, plus your questions answered, and a healthy dose of cool stuff found today on Mac Geek Gab 1104 for Monday, August 25th, National Banana Split Day 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share your tips like that. We share some from us, too. We share your cool stuff found. We share some from us, too. And we share your questions, and we share some from us, too. And hopefully, we share some answers to those questions, all strung together in an agenda that makes it as easy as possible for each of us to learn at least 5 new things every single time we get together. Our sponsors for this episode include Fireflies.ai/MGG, where you can go to get 2 months free of the #1 AI teammate that'll transcribe and summarize and interact with your conversations during your meetings. OWC's Thunderbolt 5 dock is, lots of things. The Envoy Ultra is also out. Their Thunderbolt 5 portable SSD is out. Today we're talking about the Thunderbolt 5 dock, which we'll talk about more later. Webroot.com/MGG, where you can get 50% off Webroot Total Protection or Webroot Essentials. ConstantContact.com, where you can try Constant Contact free for 30 days. And FunctionHealth.com/MGG, where you can get access to all kinds of data that most people never really see about your body. And the first 1,000 of you that sign up get a $100 credit towards your membership. It's a pretty cool thing. We'll talk more about all of that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, at least as far as you know, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christensen.
And Pilot Pete is somewhere and very quiet.
Here he is. I was just, holding my breath. My lips were moving, but no air was passing across my vocal cords to bring you these dulcet tones on a warm, sunny morning in New Hampshire, where indeed, like I said earlier, it's about 85, but the wind chill factor is about 100. So
there you go.
Not as bad today, though, I don't think. We'll see. So
Let's see.
I think with that, we should just move into more quick tips so I don't keep saying stupid things.
Oh, no, we'll give you plenty of opportunity for that piece.
Oh, yeah, no, you can count on me.
Robert has a very good one of my favorites, but I'll let him tell us about it. He says, "Hi, Geek Gabbers. I recently had an experience that might be helpful to others. I've been listening to podcasts for years using my Bluetooth AirPods and Sennheiser headphones. Recently, the Sennheiser started behaving weirdly with unresponsive touch controls and even saying the call ended when I wasn't on a call. I tried various things, searching online, unpairing and repairing, resetting back to factory, all without avail. So I purchased a new Sennheiser headphone right away and reset the old one for recycling. To my frustration, the new one I received seemed defective. Touch controls didn't work except the volume. Reluctantly, I returned the unit the next day. But that evening, when I was using my AirPods, I noticed the double tap touch control didn't work. I tried unpairing again to no avail. Then I thought, could it be the same problem as with the Sennheiser? I tried restarting my phone, which I had not thought of before, and that fixed it. I pulled the old Sennheiser and everything, pulled out the old Sennheiser rather, and everything was working again. So I have to remind myself the next time, don't forget to try restarting. Regards, Robert. Yeah. Did you turn it off and back on again?
Yeah.
Always step one.
Yeah. What are the odds that'll work? Oh, actually pretty good.
I know my family and the people I do tech support for have heard that phrase from me more times than once. Many more times. It's like, have you tried rebooting it?
That is, I mean, that's the don't forget TOTO, right? Turn it off and turn it on again. Like that's, but it, like with our iPhones, you know, it is, for most of us, the only time our iPhone gets restarted is when there's a software update. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? You know, and the same is true with our Macs, but on my Macs, I have scheduled a restart. Because a weekly restart of my Macs, I notice that if my Mac is acting wonky in an unspecified but frustrating way, my uptime is in the double digits of days, meaning that my Mac has been powered on and not restarted for more than 9 days. So I restart it once a week by schedule, and it works out totally great. My laptop will even restart if it's, closed lid, sleeping, the whole thing. So, and I'll put a link in the show notes. It used to be super easy to do that in system preferences, but that went away when it became system settings. It's the easy way to do it, but there's a terminal way to do it still. So I'll put a link in there. So, but yeah, our phones, there's no way to automate the restart. Yep.
No, right. Yeah. Great. How about I take us to me? Let's talk about me. My favorite subject, guys.
Mine too, Pete.
All right. There you go. So I came up with this quick tip out of necessity, right? And necessity is the mother of invention. So what I noticed is that the S-Lady wouldn't do certain things like I wanted it to. For instance, I go into a podcasting focus mode so I don't get interrupted by rings when we're doing the show.
Sure.
And I always wanted S-Lady, hey, at a certain time, take it out of podcasting mode or I won't get a call for the rest of the day or week. But that only works well. Give me that. What I had to do is say, okay, give me a reminder after the show is over to do it. All right. But that doesn't work when I wanted to do something with the lights when I'm going to be asleep. My son comes in often from work after we've gone to bed at night, but I didn't want to turn the light off and have him fall down the stairs trying to get through the living room. So I tried A-Lady and S-Lady, and they both work. A-Lady at 11:30, turn off the floor lamp. And lo and behold, at 11:30, the floor lamp goes off. It's a beautiful thing. So ask S-Lady or A-Lady, and I suppose the Google Help Assistant could do it as well. Give it a time to turn off a given lamp. And that way I don't have to turn it off using an automation every night because he isn't out at work every night. But on the nights he's coming home, I'll turn it on and tell it to turn it off at a time, half hour or so after he's due home. And that has worked out great. I'm trying to find all kinds of other things to do along those lines. So,
yes, that I've done that. And I was pleasantly surprised the first time that I was like, I wonder if I can do this. I was like, oh, shoot, that works. I'm trying to think of an automation, though, that you could do for when your son gets home. And you could do a geofenced automation with his phone so that when he gets home, the light comes on and then turns off 10 minutes later. Sure. And you can do that in both the A-Lady automations as well as shortcuts automations on the phone. It will let you do this, wait, then do something else. And the something else can be undo what you first did, turn it on, wait, turn it off. So that would be another way. But yeah. I haven't taken advantage of the geofencing as much as I should, but have you, Adam?
I don't use it a ton. I don't go a lot of places. I work from home. I have a small town now. Like I when I moved out here, I didn't even reset up a lot of. I had a lot of my automation in my old house was I bought in wall, or I swapped out all my light switches basically because
Got
I never
it.
liked the little plug-in ones because you had to leave the lamp on and then you couldn't use the physical controls and so I did everything with automated, and I just didn't upgrade when I came here. I don't have a lot of automation in my house anymore.
Sure.
So like I don't have a lot of need. But I do have a question about Pete's tip. Do we know behind the scenes how that is being driven? Like she's not actually creating an automation, like a one-time automation, and you're gonna find, months from now you've got
all these automations. That's a good
one-time
question.
automations.
I do not know.
Somewhere.
I think it's just a command, but it no telling how much it's storing that.
I have done this enough to confirm that it doesn't leave an automation floating out there. No.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen it anywhere. Like, what would be interesting is to say, hey, turn this light off at 11:30 p.m. We're recording this at, 9:30 a.m. or whatever. And then saying, I don't want it to turn that off at 11:30 p.m. How do I undo that? That I don't know the answer to. Like, I don't know that it is logged anywhere in the interface that we could then go and manipulate in some way. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not setting up some weird timer or that then triggers an automation or a alarm. Because like it's one of my problems with alarms is like when you create alarms, they never go away.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
tell me
With
about
SLID.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, I think, and this is, I'm now trying to remember a quick tip from not that long ago, certainly earlier this year. I think you can, on your phone, tell the S Lady to delete all of your alarms. I know there was,
that's right. Yeah.
right?
Probably,
Somebody
yeah.
found a way to do that so you can clear all those out. And I believe that I'm remembering that correctly. So, but
All right.
if you know more about this, feedback at macgeekgab.com. Let us know, what you found about how this works.
Good idea, Dave. Yes. If you know the answer to my question, feedback at macgeekgab.com.
That's right. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. And now
All
moving
right.
on.
Yeah, Scott has one for us. And again, this is another one of my favorites, but I learned something here, guys. So I'm going to kind of summarize. There's a lot to this, but he says, over the past few episodes, there's been a discussion about aliases for iCloud addresses. While the actual aliases in iCloud are limited to 3, I use 2 other free native email alias tools to get unlimited addresses. And it's really kind of the first one that I used a lot with. This was something that you could also do with Gmail. And the concept is you have your regular address, your iCloud address, so whatever at iCloud.com. You can create an alias by adding a plus symbol after that first part. So whatever the first part of your email address is before the @ you type plus, and then you can type an alias. So his example was if I was going to set up something for, say, MGG, I would have my address plus MGG at iCloud.com. And what that does is that when an email, say you were signing up for MGG newsletter or something like that, when you got that newsletter, the from address would be that address, and you could be like, oh, that's, you can recognize that from the address. The main reason I used it a lot when I would sign up for services, because I wanted to see, all right, who's going to start really spamming me? Or more importantly, who sold my email address to someone else, right? So it's like, oh, okay, I didn't give you that email address. And I do the same trick. I put a reference to where I signed up. So if it was, this service, it'd be my address plus this service at iCloud.com. And then when I got an email from another place that wasn't that service, it's like, oh, you dirty dogs, you sold my data, right? And then I could unsubscribe and do whatever. So that one's cool. The disadvantage of that, you can create a ton of them. You can't reply to that. So if you got that email and were replying to it, it's not gonna come back to your inbox, as far as I know. And he mentions that here.
I think so. Like if I send you an email to, Adam plus MGG at iCloud.com, I know you're probably not Adam at iCloud.com, but if I choose to send it to that, you would get that email in your Adam at iCloud.com address. And then when you reply, I see what you're saying. When you reply, it would come from Adam at iCloud.com, not Adam plus MGG at iCloud.com.
Yes.
Got
Yeah.
it.
It's not
Yes.
hiding it. It's not hiding it. Which brings to the other method. One, which will continue to hide it, is using the Hide My Email panel in Settings, iCloud, Hide My Email. You can go in there. You can click the plus symbol at the bottom left corner. So this is two tricks with a little plus, but in this case, you're clicking the little plus icon, and you can add to your list of existing Hide My addresses. And you can use those addresses to actually send emails with... Or no, you can't use those to send, but you can respond to to emails that come in from that address.
Yes.
So you can give that address out, and if someone sends you an email, you can respond, and your email will still be hidden.
I just want to add maybe a different way of thinking about these plus addresses. Yeah.
That.
No, you didn't brutalize anything. I just know that, we all learn slightly different ways. The idea behind this plus addressing, it is an industry standard, right? There is an RFC out there for this, which means that, it should be usable on any email service. So, if my name is, Dave at fastmail.com or Dave at iCloud.com or Dave at gmail.com, on any one of those, if I have that address at any one of those services, I can then at any point in time, instead of like when I'm filling out an email form, instead of filling out Dave at iCloud.com, I can fill out Dave plus whatever I want, Dave plus MGG at iCloud.com. And that will get to me. You don't need to set anything up on your email receiving side. Just do it on the fly when you're filling out a form. Make it, Adam plus whatever at iCloud.com, and it will get to your Adam at iCloud.com. Now, in terms of hiding from spammers, this doesn't work so well. Yeah. And KiwiGram points out why, and it's because it's so common that anyone who wants to, your email address is known in this. If if you put Adam plus MGG at iCloud.com, they know, and it's pretty easy to build even I could build a regular expression filter to remove the plus MGG or the plus whatever. Anything from starting with the plus up until the @ sign can be taken out, and you still know you have a valid email address. So it's not the best for hiding from spammers. If somebody's going to sell your address, they're probably smart enough to strip that stuff out. I mean, if they're not, then maybe they should discount their sales. But
you don't want to buy from them.
But it is for things that you're getting legitimately. It is a nice way to filter because, like you said, you can filter on if something's sent to Adam plus MGG at iCloud.com. But okay, well, this is the stuff from the Mac Geek Gab folks, and I want to prioritize that or deprioritize it. We don't judge. I mean, we do judge. We judge it really hard, but you can do it anyway if that's how you want to hurt us. Yeah.
There's one more part of this tip that came from KiwiGram in our Discord chat, and it's one more plus part of this tip. He points out that the second methodology, that hide my email address, is what does Apple call it now? iCloud Plus, or not iCloud Plus? Yeah, you have to have the Plus version of your Apple services subscription. Why am I blanking on it? It was just right there. I think it's scrolled up
in Discord. It's just to iCloud Plus subscribers.
Oh, it is called iCloud Plus.
My email available only to iCloud Plus subscribers.
You got to be on the Plus plan with Apple to get that feature.
And for those interested, King Rod tells us it's RFC 5233.
And we will have that link in the show notes.
Yeah. So I feel obligated to point out one or two other things on this. One is that if you're using the Hide My Email, you can only send to one recipient. Apple will not let you send to more than one recipient at a time. And that's why I also have a duck.com/email. Go to duck.com/email, and you can create your own duck email that goes to your main email, and you can create all the random hide my email addresses you want. And when things start coming to it that you don't like, just turn that email off and it goes to the ether forever. No more spam filtering. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. See, getting all kinds of bonus things here. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. That was great. That was a nice way to summarize a very long email, Adam.
Yeah, just make it longer.
We took the summarization and we just made it longer. That's fine.
Right.
Steve Hammond shares our what I believe is our final scheduled quick tip for the day by sharing that one way of taking control of Safari's favorites bar and tightening it up is to disable the favorite icons so that it tightens up that bar and you can kind of see things a little more easily. I liked when they added favorite icons to the tab bar and the favorites bar at the top of the screen. But if you don't, and if you want to fit even more things, you can turn those off. And it's in, I'm trying to think of, if you have the favorites bar enabled, where is it? Right click on the bar and choose show text only. Is that right? Look at that. Look at that. You get show icons and text. You can have it show icons only too, so that you get it perhaps even tighter. I learned a thing. This is amazing. I love this. That's why we do what we do. Oh yeah. Creating. Yeah. I need to think about this. I'm probably not going to go to icons only, but I like the idea. I just don't think I think I've got too many things where the icons would be the same. But yes, thank you, Steve Hammond. Thank you to everybody who sent in your quick tips. This is great stuff. We have some don't get caughts to share, some very interesting ones, in fact, and then some cool stuff found and your questions. And the next thing that we want to do is talk about our sponsors because, well, you know how here on Mac Geek Gab we always say don't get caught. Well, when it comes to our health, that advice is just as important. I've done my initial testing with Function Health, our sponsor, and the results are already starting to roll in. This is incredibly comprehensive. As somebody who loves data, this is like having a dashboard for your body. Function is the only health platform that gives you access to over 160 biomarkers from heart health to inflammation to stress and beyond, plus MRI and CT scans you can track over time. Top health experts like Dr. Mark Hyman and Dr. Andrew Huberman are backing it, and I understand why. This week's insight, if you think low iron means just take iron, think again. You need to look at ferritin and copper, too. Ferritin stores your iron. Copper helps mobilize it. If either is off, your body might not be using iron the way that it should. And Function lets you test all three together. We always say here on the show when we're troubleshooting our tech that it's helpful to know ahead of time what normal looks like with your tech so that you know when something's out of whack. You can do the same thing with Function here. Learn what normal looks like. Also learn if anything's out of whack. And you can learn more and join using our link. The first 1,000 people get a $100 credit toward their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/MGG or use gift code MGG100 at sign up to own your health. And our thanks to Function Health for sponsoring this episode. And also, hey, it's really important to not get caught with our digital life too. And that's one of the reasons I'm really excited to tell you about our sponsor, Webroot Total Protection. This is your all-in-one digital security bundle, antivirus, identity protection, VPN, and more. You get real-time protection from malware, phishing scams, and ransomware, plus Web Threat Shield to stop malicious websites before you even click. And the VPN, it works across up to 10 devices and keeps your location, IP address, and personal data private, especially important when you're on public Wi-Fi. I've set up my own Webroot account already and was impressed at how quick and easy it was. It's like you can go do it very, very quickly. Lightning fast scans, barely any system resource impact, kind of like digital insurance is a good way to think about it. And you don't think about it until you need it, right? And then you're really glad it's there. You can get 50% off Webroot Total Protection or Webroot Essentials when you go to webroot.com/MGG. And 50% off is the best deal that they're offering right now, and you have to use our link to get there. Webroot has protected customers for over 25 years with a 90% plus retention rate. So if you're ready to live that better digital life, get 50% off Webroot Total Protection or Webroot Essentials when you go to webroot.com/MGG. And don't forget, it's the only way to get this deal, and our thanks to Webroot for sponsoring this episode. And, you know, running your own business means wearing 1,000 hats, especially when it comes to marketing. I started my business to chase ideas, enjoy the flexibility that comes with kind of running my own life, but not to become a full-time marketer. And yet, you know, here we are. You kind of have to do that in order to keep your business moving along. And that's why I'm so glad I found Constant Contact. And I can't wait to get started using it with one of my businesses here. Constant Contact is like having a mini marketing team in your pocket. Their all-in-one platform helps you create campaigns across email, text, social media, events, landing pages, you name it, they've got it. And with their AI content generator, even a rough idea can become a polished campaign in just minutes. Real-time reporting, automated sending, hundreds of customizable templates, and yes, 97% email deliverability. You only pay for what you need, and phone support is included with every plan. Get a free 30-day trial when you go to ConstantContact.com. Try Constant Contact free for 30 days at ConstantContact.com. Again, ConstantContact.com, and our thanks to Constant Contact for sponsoring this episode. All right, it's time for some Don't Get Caught, and Stephen brings us right into that by sharing, this is fascinating, he put this in our Geek Gab Fish Shakes channel with the sentiment of Apple, why can't I delete a custom-created station in Apple Music? And Randy Walker chimed back in and said, yes, you can't delete, can't edit, it sucks. And he says, I checked the forums that I could find about it. I checked all the search engines and a number of other sources. Everything confirmed that once you've created a custom station in Apple Music, it stays. And then he says, I called Apple. They confirmed it too. You cannot delete them, period. So just be aware, if you're going to create a custom station in Apple Music, you will have it forever. I wonder if you need to put that like in your last will and testament. I bequeath. Actually, that would be a really funny thing, because now is Apple legally obligated by probate court to move that custom station to somebody else's.
Right.
Be a way to get them back. So just FYI. Yep. So there you go.
Now I want to know, how do I see all of my stations that I've created?
I don't know. And I say I don't know because I don't have Apple Music running currently, and I've learned better than to launch audio-related apps while I'm recording a podcast in real time. So,
well, I know there's the like stations for you section. Which I think is the stations that you create, because I see a bunch of mine, but it only goes so far. It only has a few dozen.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a dozen. So I'm curious I wonder if it's a limit on how far back it goes now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
like you can't delete them, but will it only like hold on to the last,
X number
10 or 20 that you created? Because I have a bunch of them, and these are totally ones that I asked. Because as I mentioned, I use S-Lady with all my music, especially when I'm sitting here at work, and I'll be like, hey, I want to hear, this genre or this artist or music from these people or whatever, and it creates those kinds of stations on the fly. And that's where those go. But I never thought of even trying to delete one. But I'd love to see, like, it'd be great if there was an entire history of, like, because I've probably created hundreds.
And how many are you currently seeing? Ballpark.
Yeah. 36, 9, 12, maybe 12, 15.
Okay. So maybe there's a 15 limit, and it just, it's a first in, first out.
Yeah, I mean, they're meant to be ethereal. I don't expect them to be saved. I'm not creating it. For that. If I was going to do that, you obviously do a playlist, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody knows, feedback at macgeekgab.com if there's a way to like see all of the stations that you created. I have one from Ed, though. Ed says, I recently turned down the brightness on my iPhone to save battery. Unfortunately, I turned the brightness down to 0 and could not see the screen at all to turn it back up. I did a hard reboot, but still darker than a well digger's wallet. Finally, asked Siri to turn up the brightness, and she gladly did so. Wow, everything just got brighter in here. No, just kidding.
Well played.
It's written that way. I just realized I probably just turned up everybody's iPhone brightness. Yeah. I wanted to create a solution for future stupidity when I'm in a setting where talking to Siri is not desired. So I created a shortcut to set the brightness to 80% and tied it to the back tap action. Now, if I do this again like an idiot, all I have to do is double tap the back of my phone and the brightness will be set to 80%. You guys rock. And so hidden in there is a bonus quick tip. So for those of you who don't know what the back tap feature is, this is an accessibility setting. So you can go into your iPhone settings, accessibility, touch, and there's a thing called back tap. You can choose to set an action for a double tap or a triple tap, and then you assign it to an action like opening the camera, setting the brightness, taking a screenshot, running a shortcut, whatever you want. And then, like he said there, you just have to do that tap on the back of your phone, and that action will get triggered.
I love that. I also love the buried quick tip that you can use the S Lady to control your phone brightness. I mean, I get why.
Yeah.
I get why you wouldn't want to do that in a movie theater. You know, have those have some other option. But I don't. I wouldn't. That would not have been the first suggestion I had, and I don't know where it would fall on the list. So I'm glad to know that.
I would also advise to not have your phone out in a theater and turn the brightness up to 80% with or without S Lady.
That's fair. That's fair. Everybody will know. It's true. Yeah. Yep.
And there may have been a show title in there. I'm just saying, future stupidity.
Perhaps.
So, well.
Don't get caught there.
Yeah, for sure. I for a show title, I like Don't Forget TOTO. There's some fun we can
That's
have
true
with that.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some fun with that, indeed.
Yep.
Well, there's one more don't get caught. David wrote in. He says, I have a medical condition I was tracking from my doctor, and for some reason, part of the note disappeared. I could not find previous versions to recover. I tried the back symbol on Apple Notes and went both ways. Lost more data. Oh, boy. Ouch. I hate to convert back to another Note app, but there are better solutions like OneNote and Evernote. Or am I just plain stupid on how I recover a previous version of a quick note in Apple Notes? I went to iCloud and Notes. Not one of the options for recovering. Only apps offered there were files, bookmarks, contacts, and calendar. If Notes is not this robust, is there a program I could purchase to move Apple Notes to another Notes app? And then he says, I found a way to convert to another Notes app, and I'll continue to use Apple Notes, but not for anything critical. Keep those tips coming. Love the show, David. So I wasn't aware you couldn't go back, and I haven't played with that.
I'm going to throw something out here on the fly, but I think this would be correct, because he's correct about Notes. But if you use Time Machine, and you can find a note app that is document-based, I'm pretty sure Apple's built-in versions works with any Apple standard document-based app. Like Pages will have versions that you can go back to. I think that feature still exists, right? I haven't used it in a long time. That's where you could go into the document in the toolbar. And again, you have to have Time Machine going. And then you have to be using a document-based application in Apple. And it has to use the Apple standard stuff. It can't be a funny application that's going outside of Apple's normal API stuff. But don't all document-based apps in with Apple Mac OS still have versions where it keeps versions and you can go back in the history?
In Time Machine.
Well, yeah, but it activates the UI in the app. Like I'm pretty sure if you go to
Yes.
the Pages document, right, and you can click on up at the menu bar, there's a drop down and it says versions, and then it shows you all the versions of your Pages document going back in time, and you can go back to any given version. So if you delete something out of it, you can go back and get that data back, even if it's a week later.
I don't. Yeah,
I think I'm right about that. I don't. But I could be
you're
totally
definitely
wrong.
right about it in Pages. I just don't know if you're right about it in Notes.
No, not in Apple Notes. I'm saying he was asking for an alternative. Is there
I'm
another place I
sorry.
can put my notes? And I'm saying I think there probably is. You probably could go find a Notes app that is document based, and just supports the built-in versioning stuff.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, there's lots of note apps for Mac. Like you don't have to use Notes.
Right. Yeah. Well, but I also wonder if Notes itself has like.
I was looking. I didn't see it, but
That's
maybe.
so weird.
Well,
yeah,
I
I
think
don't
because
want
it's not document based. It uses a SQL SQLite database. I think behind the scenes.
Yep. Interesting. Oh, you're right. Yes, it does use a SQLite database.
That's the key. It has to be a document based app to support versions. I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering from developer school or whatever. But
No, now I'm catching up to what you mean, and yes, okay. What you meant by or what you mean by document based. Now it's all making sense.
where
to
it
me.
saves, it needs to save to files on your computer because then Time
Yeah.
Machine is tracking it. basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is interesting. I have experienced this too, where I've had a note and just lost things, especially, and this is not going to be a surprise, a shared note where you've got multiple people editing, and if one person's and it will merge lines and stuff. Like it's not just taking one person's version and wholly replacing somebody else's. But I've definitely seen things where it's like, wait, what happened to that? So
Yep. So here you go. So like I think I've mentioned before, like I never really used Notes. I use Ulysses, which is a Markdown application.
Yep.
And I just fired up Ulysses and I went to one of my documents because each thing is stored as a single Markdown file.
Yeah.
And I can go into the file menu in one of my notes, one of my documents, and I have browse all versions. So I'm pretty sure that would be your workaround, is use a document-based app for your some sort of document-based app for your notes, and then it will keep versions as long as you're using Time Machine. That's the key. And obviously,
right.
It obviously is not going to work on OS, but if you're syncing to your Mac, then you should. Would it have those versions? Then it won't. I don't think. That's interesting. It's only going to have versions that you've worked on your Mac, I would imagine.
Yep. Oh,
sorry to go down that rabbit hole, but
no, you're right. Yeah, but if you want an app that syncs and has versioning for notes, that might be a geek challenge right there. Right?
Well, you'd have to find something that's probably a different cloud-based service. I don't know why. It's interesting. Apple should have something built with iCloud, but probably don't. But you probably could find a cloud-based service where it's stored in the cloud, and then the cloud's keeping versions.
Yeah.
There's got to be things out there. So another challenge for the audience, is there something that works for iOS and macOS for notes that keeps versions? Feedback at MacGeekGab.com.
Yeah, feedback at MacGeekGab.com. But like, are there versions of things in iCloud Drive? And I don't know. I don't think there are. Huh. I'm looking on the web in iCloud Drive, and I'm not seeing versions there. But I thought there were. I thought it had them. Maybe I'm just not finding documents where I have made revisions. Huh. Questions. We're not finished with this episode, but I think we're going to have to do another one next week to see if we can get to the bottom of some of this stuff.
Right.
In the meantime, let's do some cool stuff found, shall we? I think we've got time for some of this stuff and see how far we get. You want to start us off there, Adam?
I actually do, but I just Did I
Well,
close?
then, you know what?
I might have
I'll-
accidentally closed notes.
I'll start us off because Brian8944 sent in one that I love here, and I sort of watched the genesis of this. Stephen Robles, who is a podcaster and YouTuber, was with Apple Insider and ran their podcast for a long time, and for the last couple of years has been on his own and crushing it. He did an experiment recently where he used ChatGPT 5 to vibe code an app, submitted it to the App Store for iPhone and iPad and Mac if you want, and it was approved, and now this app is living in the App Store. Stephen didn't write any of the code by vibe coding. The vibe coding means just describing what you want to an LLM like ChatGPT, having it create the code, and then boom. And the app is called Coffee Finder, and it works. It's very simple. It uses your location, with permission, of course, to find all the coffee shops near you, and then we'll give you directions to those coffee shops. So it's there's, you know, my guess is it passed Apple's utility bar by, you know, a small margin, but that's all you need. It does a thing, and it will direct you to a coffee shop if you so choose. I mean, it'll send you to Maps and direct you to the coffee shop. But yeah, it worked, and he's got a whole YouTube video, of course, explaining how he did this, and then you can download the app. So I put both in the show notes. But I thought you would find that interesting, Adam, and Stephen's app, I am certain, is not the only app in the App Store that has been vibe coded. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. And you know, I mean, we could go either way with this, but to me, like, let this open up some ideas. Even if you're not going to submit something to the App Store, you know, just the idea of starting off with it. I love learning, and you know, I've done this since the beginning when I learned how to code, but I love learning how to code by reading other people's code, especially when I know what that code does. And so the idea of learning how to code by looking at what your idea looks like when translated to code is a really interesting thing. So,
yeah, that app sounds very similar to, I mean, it's an old app, and I don't know if it's needed anymore. It might still be out there.
Yeah.
There, in the early days of Apple Pay, there was a app called Pay Finders, and I was trying to find Brian's. It's written by a guy named Brian. I can't remember his last name. I interviewed him on my podcast when he wrote the app. And it was the same thing. It was like the whole point of the app was to find locations that took Apple Pay. So before Apple built that into Maps,
yeah,
so they kind of Sherlocked it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very much just a simple utility app, and it just map location with permissions. Where can I use Apple Pay?
Huh. Brian Rommel,
yes, that's it. Rommel.
I will put a link to your Rommel, perhaps. Yeah. I will put a link to your interview with him from June of 2016. Yep.
Yeah, see, long time ago, but
yeah,
very similar app. The site's
Love
still
that.
up, though, so the app still looks like it exists.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, should we move on to
Yes, Ben.
to the next thing?
Yes, I got my notes back up. So
Great.
Ben says, HomeKit gets discussed enough on MGG that I bet a number of listeners would benefit from HomeKare, which just got published on 9to5 Mac. It's for scanning the full HomeKit experience and identifying underlying causes of failures. So it's a troubleshooting app for HomeKit issues. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I like this. Huh. It's got some background monitoring, and it'll tell you when devices go offline or are slow and unreliable. So then you know, and then it'll tell you which scenes or automations will fail. What? Oh, this is brilliant. $7, $8,
cool.
$8. Yeah, right?
Think all the time it'll save you, though. You know,
yeah.
Why is that not working? Oh, there it is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Data is always good.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what this does. Huh. Pulls it all together for you too. Thank you. That's amazing. What do we got next, Pete?
So I found this battery jump starter. You can buy it on Amazon for $149, or you can buy it on Walmart for $99.99.
Oh.
It's the Scosche Power Up 2000 emergency battery. Let me take the banner down. Emergency battery backup source, essentially for your car. Now, the cool thing about it is it's not much larger than your average charging brick. It's maybe the size of 2 decks of cards laid end to end, and it has a flashlight in it. But the cool thing is it's got several. It comes in a little pouch, and it has several outbounds, including one that you plug in. It's a 12-volt out that looks like a cigarette lighter. So if you needed to charge something that way, or of course it has the 2 USB-A and USB-C out. Charges via USB-C input, and has a little indicator, 1 to 4 LED lights to tell you its charge status. But it also comes with the little plug-in end that gives you the red and black alligator clip type things that you put on your car battery to start it, and it's got all the protections in it that you could possibly want. So if you put red on black and black on red, it won't let you do anything stupid to yourself. If you try to touch the two together to see if there's a charge, it won't spark. It tries to prevent a short out and all those sorts of things. But like I say, it fits in a little pouch, sits in your glove box if that's where you so choose to keep it. But super powerful. Charge your phone, charge your iPad, charge your laptop probably. It'll start a 7-liter diesel engine, it says, or an 8-liter gasoline engine. That's a whole lot of juice, and one of these would fit, if properly laid out, inside a laptop, which is why I always go back to don't put these batteries in your checked luggage. Keep them with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that reminder.
These batteries do have the juice to bring down an airplane. There's no way to put out a lithium-ion fire without when it's down in the cargo hold. They just can't do it. So,
yep.
And if you ship something like that to somebody, do pay the extra and say, yeah, batteries are in there. They do that even with the little CR2032 batteries, which is kind of silly. Those won't bring down an airplane, but
it's not a bad habit to be into. Yeah,
it's just, lithium-ion batteries included and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I love this thing. It is a great little device, and cool. The size is the beautiful thing, and you don't need 12-foot long jumper cable sitting in your trunk and wrapping around things. And
I love these things. I have them in all of my vehicles. We use a brand called NOCO, which I think was just at Walmart, but they're awesome. And what's great is I was camping one time, and a couple places down from us, they had plugged their phones into their car and things with their kids' iPads and stuff into their car to charge like overnight, and they drained their whole battery in their car. And they came over and they said, "Can you, do you have jumper cables? Can you give us a jump?" And I went, "I have something even better." And I grabbed that little thing out of my car, walked it over, and they got them all started. And the wife goes to her husband, "Hey, we need one of these." But the other thing I will say about that is the reason I have them in all my cars is this is another, I think, good tip. Once we moved to the Midwest, we decided, and I think even outside the Midwest, we should do this. We built, we set up emergency kits for all of our cars. So I just got a tote, and we put in a blanket and flashlights and these car chargers and some kind of dry good foods and stuff like that, snacks and stuff like that. So if we ever get stuck on the side of the road for an extended period of time or something like that, we have everything we need just in case.
Especially out there in the Dakotas.
Yep.
That's
you
really
could be in the middle
smart.
of nowhere for a long time before someone comes to find you.
Yeah. That's really, it's super smart. We do the same thing for all of our cars. We have battery powered tire inflators too, so that
and again, the nice thing about these batteries, if you don't need to jumpstart your car, like Pete pointed out, you can charge your phone. Just make sure you've got the right cable in there too. So we have the little cable in the kit to make sure we can cable from the battery to the phone.
Right. And some of these even have like a flashlight on them. I can't remember if this one does, Pete, or not.
It does, yep.
Yeah,
and
okay.
it's bright. And of course
Yeah.
it does strobe and SOS and all that as well. So
Yeah, so you can put it out like a flare, so
Yeah.
if you're on the side of the road and it's dark at night. Yep, exactly.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, really well engineered and thought through. They did a nice job with this one.
We have more cool stuff found to talk about. The next thing that we want to talk about is our sponsors. Because, well, if you've ever wished your desk setup could do more speed, more displays, more everything, OWC's new Thunderbolt 5 dock is here to deliver. This beast just started shipping, and I'm kind of drooling over what it can do. 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and 2.5 gig Ethernet. It is built for serious connectivity. You can power up to 3 4K displays or 1 8K, push up to 64 gigabits per second of real-world bandwidth, and even charge your laptop with up to 140 watts of power delivery. And, of course, as you'd expect from OWC, this thing is rock-solid reliable. I've got 2 of their previous Thunderbolt docks, like literally in front of me here in my studio. They're absolutely critical to my MGG workflow, and I wouldn't want to work without them. So now that the Thunderbolt 5 dock is out, we need that too. Go check it out. Thunderbolt 5 dock at OWC.com. We'll put a link directly to it in the MacGeekGab.com show notes. You can go to MacSales.com too. Whichever way you want to get there, go check it out. And our thanks to OWC for sponsoring this episode. And you know how it goes, back-to-back meetings, and by the end, you're left wondering, wait, what did we agree on? What did I agree to do? Well, that's why I've been loving using our sponsor, Fireflies. It's like having an AI teammate in every meeting. I just invite it to my Zoom calls, and boom, full transcription, a fantastic summary, action items, everything I need to keep moving forward. Fireflies is the #1 AI teammate that transcribes, summarizes, and analyzes your conversations so you can get the most out of every meeting. Plus, it works in real time. You can even say, "Hey, Fireflies," to search the web or clarify what somebody just said without ever leaving your video call. It's awesome. It also integrates with all the tools you're already using. Like I said, Zoom, Slack, Asana, CRMs, other video calls, you name it. And with bookmarks, sound bites, and time-stamped notes, collaboration is simply easier. And right now, when you sign up for a yearly Fireflies subscription, you get your first 2 months free. Just go to fireflies.ai/MGG. That's right, 2 months free when you go to fireflies.ai/MGG. That's fireflies.ai/MGG. And our sincere thanks to Fireflies for sponsoring this episode. All right. More cool stuff found. Adam, you want to take us to Porthos John?
Yeah, time traveler Porthos John must have a DeLorean or something like that, because he jumps in on a conversation that we had last week, which was really yesterday, but his tip came in, his cool stuff found came in even before that. So somehow he jumped forward to the future and then back, and I don't know how that works.
Linear time is overrated
stuff, but it follows on from a discussion we were having last week about different cell carriers and services and saving money. And he says, I found an MVNO for our office that is awesome and just converted our home plan over to them. US Mobile at usmobile.com, and we'll have links in the show notes. I will say up front that if you tend to want support by phone, they aren't the best, but their chat has solved every issue I have. The highlights: you can pick to use the network for any of the 3 major carriers, and for a small charge, you can even switch between them. You can set up a second eSIM for a small charge that will give you access without a second number to data on a second network without having to switch your primary SIM. They do have Apple Watch plans. Their plans include using the ultra-wide UC bands for the highest bandwidth. It's a prepaid network, and all higher plans are all in pricing, including taxes and fees. The downsides, as I mentioned, phone support can be hard. Their app isn't the best, but works reliably well to get things done. Initial Wi-Fi calling setup is a little bit of a pain, and you need to have an unlocked phone to get on their plans. There's a lot more on their pages, but that's the simple recap. I'm paying for a year what my old Verizon bill used to be for 2 to 3 months and getting the same level of service. So this answers my concern, because I was looking at Verizon's own visible plans, and I wasn't that thrilled with them. So I am going to be looking into this, PorthosJon. So thank you for traveling forward to the future to give us that tip.
Yep. And I like the pick your carrier thing, right? Their carrier, they're a multi-carrier MVNO. I don't know if that's what they call themselves, but you know, yeah, very cool. And Apple Watch plans. Oh yeah,
a lot of the MVNOs do not support Apple Watch.
Right.
Yeah, I can't do that with Mint Mobile currently. So yeah, interesting, very interesting. Huh. All right, this is good. Competition, we like it. Speaking of competition for things that don't have enough of it, I have a cool stuff found to suggest, and I'm looking right at it, but I can't show it to you because I'm looking right at the new ViewSonic VP2788, which is their 5K 27-inch Thunderbolt display. And this thing is... we talked about this when we saw it at CES, Pete, remember?
Right.
We were super excited to find it, someone else was going to be making this. Now, the price that they told us at CES was going to be about $700, and we were very excited about that. Perhaps we were excited for a reason that doesn't match reality. So this screen is $949 on ViewSonic. It's out of stock at ViewSonic, but it is available at Amazon right now. But it's got Thunderbolt 4 pass through if you want it to, so you could pass through to a second display or other Thunderbolt things if you like. It is true Thunderbolt pass through. And then it's also got a USB-C hub in it for, it's got a USB hub in it. It's got a USB-C port and 2 USB-A ports, if I am remembering correctly. I love the stand that it comes on. Very easy to set up, as you would expect. The stand lets me raise it up and down, pivot the screen back and forth, like left and right, so horizontally. And then you can also, it will rotate vertically and go into a full, portrait mode display, and your Mac sees that and then, kind of does its thing. But what's really nice is you can also use that rotation if your desk isn't quite level, which, I need to get a real desk here in my studio instead of using this plastic portable table that I've had for 15 years or whatever. But it's got a little sag in the middle. And so I was able to just, tilt the monitor so it's flat like the ground instead of angled like the table, which is nice. But this thing's really impressive and dropped right into my setup here. I mean, I think between the time I opened the box and the time I was up and running was, 15 minutes total. And I never even turned my Mac off, which was, it was like, am I doing something bad? It's like, oh no, I mean, it's fine. Like, we're just unplugging Thunderbolt ports and, moving them around. But yeah, really impressed with this thing. And at $949, it's still cheaper than what you get from Apple or LG. So there you go.
These segments, like we say, are way expensive, and I get depressed every time we bring up displays because I'm still living in HD world like a troglodyte because I can't find myself to pull the trigger on the pricing of these monitors, and they never seem to get cheaper. Even the 4K ones are still, I think, $300-$400, and prices never come down. They've been the same prices, feels like to me, like for forever, and I keep thinking, well, the 4Ks have to come down now that we have all these great 5K options. Like, nobody wants the 4Ks anymore, right? Doesn't happen.
I have some 4K screens here, like some monoprice 4K screens that are still in service. I think I've maybe got one. Oh, I used to have one right here. I moved my Philips 4K screen, which was my previous one, in front of me, and now that's off to my right. And then I had a monoprice screen off to my right that I now put in my son's room. But I think I paid like $279 for that monoprice 4K, UHD, call it whatever you want, screen. And now I think something like that would be, more expensive, $400, $500 to get that. I will say, you've heard me speak very highly of the Philips Creator Series display that I've had previously had in front of me here. And I used to think, well, there's really no difference between this and a 5K display. And because the colors are so good on it and all of that. And the colors are fantastic on this, on this ViewSonic 5K display. Like, it is built to be used with a Mac, right? Which I love. And then this morning, as we were prepping the show, and we've done shows 2 days in a row, as Adam alluded to when we were talking about the time shift with the US Mobile suggestion, and I did something pre-show that I always do. I pulled up a screen that has some tighter text on it than most, and at first I was like, "Wow, what have I Did I?" Oh, it's a 5K screen instead of a 4K screen. So I definitely, even my aging eyes, notice a difference with this. So the 5K does make a difference. But 4K versus just 1080p HD, that's a more important difference than 4K versus 5K for most of us, I would say. But still, this screen's really nice. Go get one. $949. That's like what you'd pay more than that for a refurb LG screen that's 5K, right? So now you can get this one new. So,
but I need two, Dave. So now it's $2,000.
That's right. Well, just shy of $2,000. You can get two of these and at least 1 cup of coffee for your $2,000, Adam. Right. Unless you have to pay tax, in which case I got nothing for you.
I realized I had the epiphany, which is I need to tag my IT guy at work and find out if they've recycled out some old 4K monitors that he probably has just sitting in his old technology room. It's like, can you send me a couple of 4K monitors?
Yeah. I will say the difference between a monoprice 4K screen and this Philips 4K screen is shocking. I got used to having the Philips in front of me and the monoprice to my right, which is where I put my second display. And I knew that they looked different, but it never, I was like, it's fine. Whatever, I move a window between them, no big deal. Now that I have that Philips display off to my right, it's like, oh man, that thing looks delicious compared to the monoprice screen. The monoprice screen looked great. It's totally fine, but it ain't the same. So the quality does matter. It does make a difference. So,
well, again, Dave, I'm living like a troglodyte with HD monitors, so anything's gonna be an upgrade.
I can't believe you're doing coding on HD screens. I feel like you would want to see the details better. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being an enabler here. This is bad.
You have to buy one now.
Yeah, I have to. All right, question. Should we stay with cool stuff found and ride the episode out that way, or do you guys want to jump to questions? Pete, you would be the one to go. Either. You have the next one in either category. So
yeah,
surprise
I have
us.
the cool stuff found queued up, and
Great.
So let me stay with that because this is cool. Last week I mentioned Genius.
That's fair. It's a nice follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one we got from listener John, who writes in, guys, great show, many helpful tips and cool things. Here's a cool stuff found. VFlat, that's one word, VFLAT scanner, and the link is in the show notes. This app takes the roll out of your page when scanning a page, like in a book or that sort of thing. Even delete your fingers when you're holding down something like a receipt and scanning it. Delete that out of there and gives you a nice flat one. I looked it up. I could not find it on the App Store, thinking of self-inflicted stupidity wounds. And it's because I was looking on my Mac and it's only available in the App Store for the iPad and the iPhone. But if you're taking the picture of a page of a book and it's got a little curve in it, because you haven't broken the binder on the book, it takes all that out. It flattens it out and does all kinds of magic behind the scenes to make your scan look pretty. And it's free with in-app purchases. And the iPad version was rated Best Book Scanner App by APAC Awards in 2024. So I'm excited to try this one because I'm always looking for something that will quickly and cleanly give me a nice scan. Yeah, Genius Scan was good, but this looks like it may be more better, as they used to tell us in boot camp.
I like it. Cool.
More better. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Fun stuff. Yeah, I'd never heard of this, but I like what it does.
It's in the name, V-Flat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. All right. Seems like we're sticking with cool stuff found, Adam.
Yeah, I think we haven't done these in a while, so it's probably
it's good
place to stick. So Dan has one. He says, "Gentlemen and Pete, I'm sure many listeners are tech support for family and friends, and as part of diagnosing a problem, often need them to power cycle their router, TV box, or any number of other electronic thingies that have stopped behaving." Maybe he was time traveling as well, because we were talking about that earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Well, a company called Snap One makes a product line called the WattBox, which is a network-connected surge protector that lets you control individual outlets via their free oversee service at OVRC.com on the web, or from their iOS app. You can turn the power on or off, or click one button to cycle the power to an outlet off and then on again. In fact, you can mark an outlet as a network device, so it won't let you turn off the power to a device that would knock the WattBox itself off the internet. You can even see the WattBox to monitor the internet connection and automatically cycle particular outlets if it can't reach the internet for a period of time. Now, these WattBoxes are usually sold for a fair bit of money to audio and video installers who put them in big commercial systems to allow them to bounce power on a device at a customer site without a truck roll. But I've found vendors on eBay selling particularly the 3-outlet Ethernet version for surprisingly little coin. This vendor seems reliable and has units for $34. He has a link to eBay, which I'm sure we'll have in the show notes.
Yeah.
And I put one in my mom's family room TV setup, controlling the TV, soundbar, and DirecTV streaming box. So if any of them misbehave, she can just text me to bounce the power on it from wherever I am.
I like that. And I also like this oversee thing, OVRC.com.
Yeah, that's like the service that seems to run the cloud-based service. It runs all through, and it sounds like you can get some free option plans if you're not a big commercial company.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah. I gotta dig into this. This seems like something we might all want to know about. So bonus on several fronts. This is awesome, Dan. Wow. Cool. What else do we have here? Oh, we have cool stuff found from Ben. Ben shares, I bought some Apple Watch bands from Braxley, BraxleyBands.com. And of course, there'll be a link in the show notes. He says, these Apple Watch bands I bought a couple years ago from Misty Stars for my partner and me recently started breaking. They had plastic lugs and stopped handling the strain. We super glued them repeatedly, but are glad to finally let them go, knowing that we wanted metal lugs and natural materials. My research landed on this company, Braxley Bands. Although their more interesting colors are made of plastic, recycled, I went for the mostly organic cotton ones instead. Yeah, these they're kind of these, well, they're cotton. They're stretchy-ish, comfortable bands, and they're not terribly expensive. You can buy 2, get 1 free, and they're like $40 a piece or something. And they've got some fun colors and all that good stuff. He says their packaging is cute with catchy messaging, and they have a bit of elastane in them for stretchiness and comfort. He says, I love how comfortable it is on my wrist and how it always remains the right size without adjustment. Oh, that's good. It's easy to put on and off and take off, put on and take off without losing the size. Oh, so these just stretch over your hand. You don't have to, yeah, there's no clasp. Yep. Very cool. Yeah. Thanks, man.
I was just thinking this morning I need a new Apple Watch band. So
I am someone that generally buys inexpensive clones from Amazon of whatever Apple's watch bands are, and I'll pay $9 or something for a watch band, and it lasts me for a little while, and then I throw it away and buy another one for $9. So
right.
That's what I always do. There's no point in me sharing links to the watch bands that I have because I'm sure they don't exist anymore. They're very fleeting businesses. I don't know that I've ever bought like a quality made watch band other than the ones that come with my Apple Watch. Right. I know. It's fine though. Like it's a watch band. I just like, oh, yep, look at that. And I'm looking at the one that I have now, which I kind of like, but it's, the metal's getting scratched, the black paint on the metal, it's not anodized. So it's like starting to turn silver. It's like, yeah, all right, I'll just get rid of it.
I have a stretchy one. It's dirty as can be, but I think I'm going to throw it on the top rack of the dishwasher and see how that works.
Should be fine.
Quick tip.
I love when anything, technology or not, gets to a point where I'm ready to throw it away because it doesn't work or, in your case, look the way I want it to look anymore. Because at that point, it's like, well, I'm going to put it in the dishwasher. If it ruins it, I was going to throw it away anyway.
Yeah,
it's all good. Now it's clean trash. So
exactly.
Yeah. Fun stuff. I'm looking to see if we have even more like cool stuff found buried somewhere. We do. We have a lot. Yeah.
I probably could give a weird one.
Go.
Now that you brought up like cleaning old stuff.
Love this.
Because this came up when I was trying to work on this old pinball machine that I got, and it came with like the pinball legs, which are chrome usually, and they were completely rusted out. And so I went on the pinball forum and they said, find this stuff called EVapo-Rust.
Okay.
And so if you have corroded metal parts and things like that have a lot of rust on them, this stuff is like miracle stuff. So I bought just like a big PVC tube and got seals for either end, filled it up with that, and dropped those things in there and left them for 3 days, and it got rid of all the rust. And this stuff is supposed to be fairly benign for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's still a chemical, so be safe. Like I wore a mask and some gloves when working on it. Some guys say you don't even need to wear the gloves, but I'm a little paranoid about that stuff. So
yeah, doesn't hurt.
But it was amazing. 3 days in that stuff, and the rust was pretty much completely gone. And yeah,
I have an old bass drum pedal, an old Ludwig Speed King for anybody that cares. That I cannot turn the adjustment screws on it, and they're like inside a tube. So like it's very. So I wonder if I just soak the whole thing in this for a couple days and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not going to bring the chrome back, but it'll get rid of the rust.
Yeah, the rust is my only issue. Yeah, I don't need it to look nice. No one sees it other than me. It's hidden by my bass drum. Interesting. And it did I have the link right? Is this it's EVapo-Rust? Yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
you
cool.
can get it at any home. Like I got it at Menards or Home Depot or probably Lowe's or just everywhere. Yeah, and I got like two gallon things of it or something like that. I need quite a bit, and it's super cheap. It was like $13, $15, something like that.
Yeah. I love that. That's pretty cool.
I mean, weird tip for tech show, but it might come up. Deal with rusty little parts and old things. So
yeah, for sure. I like it.
Better than throwing it out. And that's like I said, if you were just going to throw it away, or maybe you can salvage something.
Yeah, exactly. We have one from Rich from earlier this year. He says, I was listening to a show back in March and heard you ask the question about, is there a VPN appliance? Dave is 100% correct. Oh, we were talking about the Apple TV working great with Tailscale, and it does. Right. He says, I recommend that you get the latest Apple TV for the best throughput. Yes, we have found that for sure. However, if you don't want to use your Apple TV, our friends at GL-iNET make a VPN appliance for, well, at the time it was $75. Now, $67. Things do go down in price, Adam. Just not your monitors. The appliance can serve OpenVPN, WireGuard, and many others. However, most of these protocols will need your firewall and or router to port forward VPN requests to the appliance, which makes perfect sense. He says, or you can simply use Tailscale. No router and or firewall configuration is necessary there. Set up the VPN appliance as a tailscale exit node and you are set. So if you don't have an Apple TV or don't want to use your Apple TV as a tailscale exit node or an entrance node, either one, this thing for $67 will do it. It is normally listed at $80 on Amazon, but yeah, look at that. OpenVPN speeds up to 150 megabits per second. WireGuard up to 355. WireGuard is effectively what Tailscale is. It's just a kind of wrapper to make it more useful. But so I would expect, hefty throughput with WireGuard. I don't get that kind of throughput with my Apple TV. I get maybe 100 megabits a second, but it's fine. Like for what I need, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh. When we love the folks at GL-iNET. So
they're the ones that do that MT3000 we've talked about before.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
Which is it's all built in there now.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
I intentionally, I see you putting this next one up.
I'm asking.
No, it's fine, but you got to summarize because the email's way too long.
Yeah, it's
okay.
long.
Go. Great.
So Andrew writes in. He found essentially a cable tester. What cable? What USB-C cable is this? Is it Thunderbolt? Is it power only? Is it how much power can it carry and all that sort of thing? We'll put it in the show notes, but it's the Treedix USB cable tester. He was able to go in there and this thing for $40 allowed him to go through, he said, the couple dozen cables that he has laying around, plug it in, and this thing tells you what the cable's capability is. And now I've got to get one. Thanks a lot, Andrew. $40. I could have used that for beer, but no.
Nope. No.
Spend it on this.
But here's the thing, Pete. You won't need the beer because now you'll know and you'll never pick up the wrong cable again.
Correct.
So,
correct.
It's not so bad.
That's cool. I had no idea such a device existed. It figures that it does, but
yeah, well, it's $46. So you can buy even less beer now.
There you go.
But yeah.
My wife thanks you, Andrew.
Yeah, exactly. This thing looks cool. It's got a nice screen on it. And tells you all the things with very easy. Very clear to read, functional display. I love this thing.
And he said, it gets a little color. So he took I think he took colored paper. I would take a colored Sharpie pen or something to mark each, but it's, that's your own choice. You could take those twisty ties we bought yesterday, mark your cable with what you've got.
Right.
And but now you'll know what your cables are exactly capable of, and grabbing needing a data cable and grabbing a power only cable. Those days are over if you got one of these.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten, and I love that we're capping it off with this. I feel like we've gotten not just to the end of the show, but to the end of the cable. How fast is it, and how do we remember how fast it is once we figure it out? Conversation. I think we've exhausted all of that. I love that. Like, I love that we have, we kind of come up with these things that we don't know. When this stuff happens on the show, like it's rare that we're like, oh, great, we can plan a 4-episode, conversation about this stuff. It's you. It's the collective
Andrew
of
put
us.
A bow tie on that conversation.
And Andrew put a bow tie on it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I love when we have these conversations that sort of linger, and then it becomes a challenge that I generally take on. Any of us could do it, but it's like, all right, well, how frequently do we talk about it? How much of it do we talk about? What filters do we put in place so we don't become the cable testing Geek Gab? But it's been robot vacuums. It certainly is one of them. Prior to that, mesh routers. We could have been the mesh router Geek Gab. We easily could have been, and still could be, Synology Geek Gab, right? So there are topics that we're careful with. And speaking of robot stuff, we are knee deep in summer here, and still really happy with that Eufy E15 mower.
Nice. Yeah.
That thing. Yeah. It gets stuck occasionally and we just have to move it around. But, it's easy to manage. It alerts us on our phones. So yeah, I just figured I'd do a quick follow-up on that. But,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for today, right? We're done with this.
I think we can.
I think you should put a bow tie on it, Dave.
We're done with this
Wrap it
silliness
up.
now. Wrap it up. I'll find the band. I found them.
Thought they were UA. I hear music.
Yeah, the music's there. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Thanks for sending in all this stuff. Thanks for being a part of our conversations. And when I say our, I don't mean the three of us. This is an inclusive thing. It is our conversation that we all get to have every week and throughout the week. Join us in the Discord, macgeekgab.com/Discord. It's a fun place. It's a very welcoming and helpful place. I freaking love it. It's just so great that there's, thousands of people in there and everybody's friendly and helpful. So check that out. Thanks to everybody that makes our Discord that way, which is effectively all of you. Thanks to Cashfly for providing all the bandwidth. Thanks to Pete for creating So There I Was. Thanks to Adam for creating the debut film podcast. I guess I have to thank myself for creating... Well, actually, I don't have to thank myself. I did not create Business Brain or Geek Gab. They were not my ideas. They were the ideas of my co-hosts at the time, Shannon Jean and Paul Kent. So you can thank them for the existence of those podcasts. And thanks for hanging out. Fun stuff. It's good.
D.
We made it. 2 episodes we recorded in 2 days. Love it. It's all good. You'll get them on your on the right schedule, folks. We just we had some travel stuff. Plus, sometimes it's fun. Go ahead, Adam.
I just saw that there's a Adam 5K monitor thread in MGG Tips.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about this for you, Adam.
Now you got to do it.
Yeah, the Discord sort of happens on its own, which is wonderful. Like, yeah, it's great.
So, Adam, without a 5K monitor, don't get caught.
Made on
Later.